invite Tess. The microphone is yours. Kindly introduce yourself to our audience. And one thing that I can tell you that she has several resources, and the resource when so many people have been asking me, where can we learn new skills? Because in most cases, we are struggling to get where to learn these new skills that will help us navigate through this job site. So if you stay maybe up till the end of this meeting, she might be having maybe some goodies to, she might be having some goodies for us. So welcome, Tess, and kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very fine. I hope you're well. I hope everybody is well. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure. So my name is Tess Ogamba. I'm a digital monetization strategist and YouTuber. Now, over the years, about 4 years, I have dedicated most of my time to helping people, individuals, brands, kind of build sustainable online income streams through freelancing, remote work, starting online businesses and all that, including content creation. Now, my job really is to kind of guide people. First, I educate people on the opportunities that exist in the digital space. Then I try my best to guide them to kind of become successful in the area. Yes, I have been doing this for about 4 years. I started working online I started in 2017, so let's say it's about 7 years, but I have been teaching for about 4 years. And I have had the pleasure of helping thousands of people. If you check my YouTube channel, you see that I have over 216,000 subscribers on YouTube alone. And I have a class on Skillshare that also teaches people how to make money online without any skills and experience. So I am so glad to be part of this webinar. Just let me know when you're ready for me to share the little knowledge that I have.
Thank you so much. And I would kindly ask you that you don't turn your camera on. When I made the poster people off, that is, you can turn your camera on, sorry. When I made an invitation, so many people were pleased to have you on these sessions, because from that, I got successful stories that people you've helped in this process. One thing I've realized with this remote work, there's a lot of conmanship going around, whereby some people being robbed of their resources, some people are being robbed of their time, their finances, and also their skills, their skill sets. So this is something I've been realizing that during the time of my coaching period, people have been asking me, how do we approach this job search? Because in most cases, you'll go to LinkedIn, you apply, either you won't get the reply you need, or when you get the reply, in most cases, it will be regrets. So I dedicated these sessions to help us, and also people who are part of this session, to navigate their job search. So that is the reason as to why we invited you today. But what I would love to really hear from you, how was it for you when you started, and what advice, if you were to get yourself 4 years back, what advice would you give to yourself in regards to the remote job?
I think I would just give myself, I was about 19 when I started working online. I was in university at JKUAT. The only advice I would give the 19-year-old who really just wanted to make some money to eat is, you don't have to chase opportunities. You do not have to spend hours and hours applying for jobs and having to suffer the emails we regret to inform you. The best thing you can do for yourself, and the only thing you need to do for yourself, is to position yourself well. The moment you have made yourself valuable, you've positioned yourself successfully, everything becomes easy to get. So positioning is just really, what skills do you have? How do you communicate who you are, what you do? When you tell people, I do this, and then they ask you, can you show me what you've done in the past? Do you have something to show? Now, you want to work online and get jobs and all that. I mean, you cannot want to work online and not be available online. So are you visible online? So I'd say positioning is the most important thing. Back then, I didn't know that, but today I know it.
Maybe kindly elaborate to us more when you talk of positioning. What is this positioning? Is it personal branding? Is it going back to class to get maybe degrees? Yes, we are recording the meeting. Kindly, you don't have to share I'll share the recording after this. Thank you. So when you talk of positioning, what exactly do you mean by the term position? And if I want to position myself, where do I need to position and what do I need to show for it?
I'm going to try to look for a very simple example. There's this friend of mine, he was giving me a story about his friend. Now, that friend wanted to become a car influencer. Okay, so he wanted to partner with Mercedes and Toyota, for car brand deals and all that. But you see, this friend just knew how to drive. He didn't have a car, but he still wanted to become successful. So what did he do? He said, I'm going to be using Twitter. And I've seen how these people do it. They show themselves driving cars, going on road trips, talking about cars, but I do not have a car. So he started sort of borrowing his friend's cars. So he will take a car, ask his friend for his car for a weekend, maybe a Saturday, and then he'll spend that weekend creating videos, myriads of videos, pictures, taking pictures, going for maybe traveling to maybe Nakuru and just taking, just to have content library. And then he will take the car back, but then he'll spend the next few days or the next 2 weeks posting content that he recorded. So from a viewer's point of view or from the brand's point of view, this guy has a car. From his POV, he does not have a car. He doesn't even have the money to live the life he's showcasing. He is just positioning. It's easier for somebody to kind of partner with someone who shows that they are good at what they do, who tells the world, this is who I am, this is how I do it, and this is how I look. Imagine if he just wanted to partner with deals, but just kept maybe posting on Twitter, I love cars. He does not show himself in a car. Or I can drive a car. He doesn't show himself driving. So, I mean, where is the trust in that? So that is really positioning. Positioning is you put yourself in a space to attract what you want. Okay. So if let's say you want to attract a job that pays you $50,000 a year, you have to be worth that job. We talk about worth in skills. You want a job. You see, I tell people, nobody can pay you thousands of dollars to watch videos on YouTube. Like, what world are we living in? Okay. You want to get paid more, be worth more. So learn high income skills. Okay. Position yourself, learn, invest in yourself, and then showcase to the world who you are and let everything follow you. I don't know whether Kevin can still hear me.
What you're saying, and one thing I've been telling most candidates is most of the opportunity to prove how good we are. And there are platforms that have been given to us for free to utilize this platform to showcase. Instead of waiting for someone to waiting to be called for an interview, at least you can use these particular skills to position yourself as Tess have said. And this is something that I've been preaching. So just like I said, Tess, I want to leave you the microphone. Can you just walk us through what do I, in case I need to start? You've mentioned that there are some remote jobs that you can do without acquiring the particular skills. But in case I need to be very serious with looking for remote work opportunities, what do I need to do? Where do I start? And what is required of me for me to get these particular opportunities, to convert the regrets into congratulations?
That's a good question, Kevin. I'd say, let me give another example. So imagine you want to go somewhere. You step outside, you take your phone and you go to Google Maps. You cannot tell Google Maps, just take me wherever, I will know when I get there, because Google Maps won't get you to a place you want. So the first thing you will do for you to get to where you want to go using Google Maps is to enter a destination. Are you going to CBD? Are you going to London? Are you going to New York? Where do you want to go? So the first step is to know exactly what you want. If it's a job, what title? Is it a digital marketer? Is it a writer? Is it a cleaner? Title of the job. Don't say any job that comes my way. That's the language of failing. But if you want to fail and never get a job, just be applying for jobs randomly. First, you need to identify a title, a job you want. 2, what do I need to get this job? Now, I say you can fake it as much as you want, but getting the job is not even the hardest part. It's keeping the job. I live in a world where people just approach me and tell me, Tess, connect me with a job, just any job I will do. And then I tell them, even if I took you to a company's HQ and I pleaded with them to hire you, if you cannot do the job, they will fire you. And that would be a waste of both my time and theirs. So the second thing you do is to learn. If you want to become a digital marketer, you have to learn how to be a digital marketer. So take a course, go to YouTube, learn for free, join Skillshare, just do whatever you need to do to acquire the skills. Now you know what you need, the job, and you have the skills. The third thing you need to do is to package yourself. That is what it's part of positioning we talked about. How do you package yourself? Imagine if I was a digital monetization strategist without a YouTube channel, without a class on Skillshare, without even a portfolio, would you trust that I am a digital monetization strategist?
No.
Okay. When Kevin, right now, if you asked me, Tess, I know you say you've helped people, but where are they? I will produce testimonials. Can you? So 3 is to package yourself. People trust people who can show that they can do the job. Now, this is the most important step. How are you going to package yourself? Are you going to create the best CV, like the best resume? Because nowadays people don't use CVs. The best resume and the best cover letter, and start sending to random companies? Are you going to use job sites and create maybe a profile on Indeed? Are you going to use LinkedIn? How are you going to approach this? Now, that depends on what you want. If you want to there are different types of remote jobs. There is employee-based remote job. Now, this is where you're just an employee. It's just that you're working remotely. You see, this comes with constraints. Maybe they won't allow you to work for other companies. Okay, maybe it will even be a hybrid role where you can work 3 days in the office, 2 days at your home. How you package yourself depends on what you want. Maybe you're not interested in an employee-based remote job. You are interested in a freelance remote job. This is where you have the independence of working for more than one company. You have some sort of freedom. Now, these are the things you identify in the first part where we said, know what you want. Then you also have to know, is it employee or freelance? Once you know that, then you can package yourself accordingly. Obviously, if you want to be an employee, then the next thing you do is to find remote roles. I'd say create a good profile, optimized on LinkedIn, number one. And then create on Indeed, just 2 platforms. Don't overdo it. In LinkedIn, optimize it. Don't just create and put things and put a selfie of you in the kitchen and just, you see, this is a very interesting space because you teach people how they see you. Okay, somebody can see you as a professional who knows what they're doing. You know, I could just choose today to come here wearing something on my head and speaking Swahili, but I am not. Packaging, okay? How you want to be perceived as a professional. So let your account show that you are a professional. So create a LinkedIn profile, create an Indeed profile, you know, present yourself well, and make sure when somebody comes to your Indeed profile, they're like, this is an interesting lady. This is, you see, now, if you want to be a freelancer, then there are many ways you can approach this. You can choose to have a portfolio website. I'd say if you're new to the whatever you've learned, if you're new to the space and you want to be a freelancer and you want to be successful in it, then just make yourself visible. You don't have to go chasing opportunities yet. Create a portfolio. Now, someone will ask me, what will I include in my portfolio? Let's say you want to be a digital marketer, and obviously you're new to it. Offer services for free to your friend who has a shop, your friend who sells clothes. Offer to, you know, put them online and create for them an Instagram page and try and post pictures of their clothes on Instagram. Offer to offer your sister free services that are in relation to what you want to do. And then make sure you get their permission to use that, what you've done for them, in your portfolio, because a portfolio showcases work you've done in the past. And you see, employers appreciate, clients appreciate a beginner who goes the extra mile to actually put together a portfolio, because now I don't have to ask you, what have you done? How good are you at it? You've already put the Instagram page you created for your sister, the pictures you took, the articles you wrote, the transcripts you did. They are there. All you have to do is send them a link. And they're like, I don't even have to say, this is who I'm looking for. So you create a portfolio, okay? If you want to kind of show your expertise and build that credibility and let people come to you, go on YouTube and share your knowledge, okay? Or start sharing knowledge pieces on LinkedIn, because people trust people who look like they know what they're talking about. So package yourself, and there are different ways you can do this. I'm going to give an example of how I have packaged myself. One, I used to work in this space. I was working for a government project in this space before I became a content creator. But then I said, I am so tired of being unemployed. That was in 2021. I'm going to leave this job, and God help me, I am not getting employed again. So what did I do? I used Upwork. I'd say I'm going to use Upwork to help me kind of get roles. Two, I also was a transcriptionist. So I had clients that I was working for, but I needed to create sustainable income, because as a freelancer, it can be very, very unpredictable. I wanted to have consistent income. So I wanted to get more clients. And you see, cold pitching is so tedious and scary. So I said, I'm going to put myself in a space where I am visible and build trust and let the clients come to me. So I went to YouTube and I started creating content in the specific area that I wanted clients in. And my clientele doubled. It got to a point where I just had to turn people back, like, no, I cannot take you on. I am sorry. I never sent emails. They just came to me. Oh, Tess, we saw your video. You look like you know what you're saying, what you're doing. Oh, I liked the comment on your video. Please, can you help our company? People come to me. So that is the first thing I did to create online visibility? YouTube. And then I said, how about I extend this a bit more? So I went to Instagram. I don't do a lot of that because it's too much work for me. YouTube is my main platform. Then I went to TikTok. And then I said, Tess, do more. I created a class. Right now it's actually free. And people would say, why did you put so much work in creating such a good class and make it free? You see, sometimes what you earn is not just money. Sometimes you earn trust. Sometimes you earn credibility. And those go a long way in making you more money. So my class is another way that I have packaged myself. Okay. When I come to a webinar like this is packaging. This is part of my strategy. I mean, do I love teaching and talking? And yes. When Kevin told me, Tess, can you speak? Did I ask Kevin for money? No. I said, one, I love it. Two, it's part of my strategy. I am packaging myself. So you know the destination, you have learned, you've equipped yourself with the skills. Now you're packaging yourself. And as you package yourself, trying to attract these clients because you want to work online and remote jobs, you need to put yourself online. You have to sit down, have a meeting with yourself and ask yourself, okay, Felista, we want to work online. Are we willing to put ourselves online? Because if people can't find you, then you're wasting your time. Okay? You cannot say you want to work in Nairobi and you don't live in Nairobi. What are you doing? So if you're the kind of person who says, I do not want my face to be online, I cannot get a website, then this is not for you. Simple as that. Put yourself online. Create an image that you want people to see. Curate content. You don't have to be like everybody else, but be visible. Now you are visible, okay? And now when somebody searches a digital marketer on Instagram, they find you. On LinkedIn, they find your profile. What does that profile say? We talked about optimization. They look at, you see, when somebody wants to work with someone, let's say a digital marketer, for instance, they're looking for someone who has knowledge in SEO, right? Who has knowledge in content marketing, for instance, okay? Knowledge in copywriting. So they'd want to see these things on your profile. If you are hiring someone to clean your home and your priority is to find an organized person who can keep time, when somebody sends you an application, you need to see the word organized somewhere, timeliness somewhere. So if your profile does not have the things that attract employers, why would they employ you? So how do you make your profile be attractive to these people who come to your profile? Don't create your profile blindly. Be intentional. First, you know the job that you want to be hired for. I'm using digital marketing as an example, but I'm sure you're interested in various roles. Now, go to I usually give people advice. Go to Indeed, for instance, or Glassdoor, or I don't know what they use in Kenya. Brighter Monday. Yes, Brighter Monday. Go to Brighter Monday. Yes. Go to Brighter Monday and look for jobs, positions that have been advertised with the title you want. Look at one, the experience they are looking for. Are they looking for someone with 1 to 2 years experience? What are the skills they are looking for? Are they looking for someone who's organized, who's a leader, who is independent, who keeps time? Okay. If you want to be a UI UX designer, for instance, go to jobs that are hiring designers, UI UX designers, and look at the job description. Who do they say they want? What will be the role? What are the tools they'd like you to be conversant with? Okay. What are the skills you need to have? Make sure you're noting this down. Now, obviously, you've already learned. Now, when you go to your LinkedIn profile, you're not just saying anything. you're making sure these things, you see, they said they like someone who's organized, someone who maybe knows how to use Outlook. Now you're including that. You say, my name is Tess Ogamba. I am I am actually very good at using Outlook, because this is something that most employers have shown they like. So now when somebody who's employing for that role, or you've made an application on LinkedIn, before they hire you, before they even do anything, they will go to your LinkedIn profile. And when they see those words that they've used in their job adverts, in their job descriptions, you've clearly articulated that you're good at these things, you have these skills that they need, then you're more likely to get an interview than somebody who just sat down one day and randomly created a LinkedIn profile. Packaging. So those are 4 steps we've discussed. Now, step number 5, put work into it. I usually say, have a goal. Every day, how many jobs are you going to apply for? I say don't do too much. Little is much, okay? So 3 jobs, apply for at least 3 jobs. There's a mistake that people make, Kevin, that I think I've been talking about for so many years, and people don't seem to listen. People just create a resume and a cover letter out of nowhere, and then they will use that resume and that cover letter to apply for every job, regardless of the description of the job, regardless of the difference of the titles of the job. They will use that one resume and that one cover letter. The biggest mistake they make.
I agree.
Yes, others don't even care about actually taking the time to write those resumes. They go online and get a sample and they just copy paste it. They forget that these employers have seen those copy pasted resumes. I can personally, when I'm hiring, I can tell somebody who put work into their resume and somebody who just copy pasted something or just sent me what they created 3 years ago. And nobody, I hate people who cannot even put effort in their application. Imagine how they are gonna, work with your company. They're gonna put no effort. They will find the easiest way out of everything. I mean, it's beautiful to find the easy way out, but sometimes it doesn't work. So what do? You tailor your resume for every job application. Remember we said you look at the job description, what they require in terms of skills, in terms of experience, in terms of tools you're supposed to be knowledgeable with. Just look at the description. Then I'll go and write your resume. And that resume, just like your LinkedIn profile, should reflect what these people are looking for. So you don't see a job and then you go to your laptop and then you just look for your resume that you created 3 weeks ago and you send. You failed already. You failed before you even started. You should have used that time to make yourself a cookie. Now, you've seen this job, you get your resume out and you say, I'm gonna now edit this resume to fit this job description. So we call it tailoring to a specific job. Imagine you are a tailor, you make suits for people and you have this suit that you make, a black suit with a tie. You sell that the same size to everybody, even people who are slim, people who are bigger. You just sell the same size of clothes to everyone. It won't work. You see, when you're a tailor, what do? You get somebody, you take their measurements, you tailor that piece of clothing to their size, to their height, to everything, and then you give it to them. So that is what you do with resumes and cover letters. You take a job description, you tailor that resume to the job description, you tailor the cover letter to the job description, and then you send it. That's why I say you apply for at least 3 jobs a day. You're not sending generic resumes. You are tailoring for each. Now you have a goal of applying for 3 jobs a day. You're tailoring your resumes. I can assure you, if you follow these steps, you might get a rejection, but give yourself a month, let's not even say 2 weeks, a month to just do this religiously. Don't cheat. You see, the thing about, now I happen to live, sometimes I live in Kenya, sometimes I live in London. And when you look at my audience is very global. So I get people from the US, just think of any Poland, Germany, Kenya, Nigeria. I get audiences from all countries. And one thing that has always stood out for me when it comes to Africans or Kenyans specifically is they like the easy way out and they do not like to put in the work. I get a lot of people telling me, Tess, I want you to hold my hand until I get a job. Bro, I have work to do. I have my own hand to hold. What are you saying? That thing that you want, this your life is your life. It is personal. Nobody owes you, I will hold your hand and walk with you. It's not a movie. This is real life. We are all fighting to survive. So the thing I've seen with Africans and Kenyans is they like to be spoon-fed and they like to not do the work, but get high returns and make a lot of money by doing very little. And that is not how the world works. So when you are applying for these jobs, you have to remind yourself that you are not entitled to no job. Nobody owes you a job. You have to earn it. The more you want to make, the more your application should reflect that. Your habits should reflect that. I charge about $100 an hour for a consultation, and I assure you my knowledge and my image reflects that. Okay? People would be shocked if I charged them $10 an hour. Like, Tess, are you sure? Because you are worth, they can even see your worth without even you. So that is how you present yourself when you're applying for these jobs. Don't play small, you're not small, but don't just build castles in the air. Reviewers, what are they called? Employers can see that. They can see a pretender far away. So embody who you want to be. Embody the winning attitude, embody success, manifest it, and let it reflect in your effort. So put in the work in applying. And then this is now the final step I'm going to talk about is patience. Remember when you said nobody owes you a job? So they are free to hire whoever they want to hire. And these people don't know you personally. So when they reject you, it's not personal. They don't know you. And don't go telling them, my children are dying, they don't have food. They don't care. Did you feed the person they want to hire? No, you did not. So what do? Go back to the drawing board and work on your application and yourself, and then fit that. So nobody cares about your troubles. And people do this a lot. They want to inbox me and say, please give me a job. My mama, my mother is sick. I don't care. I mean, I feel you, but if I give you the job just because you have a problem, you won't do that job where I want you to do. You don't have the skills or the knowledge to deliver. So when you get rejected, it's not a personal attack. You're not cursed. Nobody has bewitched you. It's just you didn't fit the profile. So go back to the drawing board, and every rejection, you should sit down and evaluate. What might have made this recruiter to reject me? If you can, when they send you that rejection email, send them an email back and ask, could you tell me where I went wrong? Some will respond and tell you, maybe you didn't include this, you included this, and then use that knowledge to make your next application better. And then be patient now. Wait for it. Rome was not built in a day. Things take time. Good things take time. So wait. If you need the job urgently, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you will need to be patient. So Kevin, I'd say those are the 5 steps I'd tell someone to take to get a job.
That was amazing. And one thing, I think you've stolen my secret and given it to them. But I know, just like you've said, most Kenyans don't like putting in the work. one thing you realize that if you've been following me, even for people who are here, I get a lot of success stories. This year, I set a target of impacting around 100,000 job seekers. And it can't go a week without getting less than 5 testimonials, either those people who have gotten jobs, either those people who have gotten invited for an interview. And one thing I do that I would like to tell to them that you've also mentioned, the key thing is to know what is needed. Once you know what is needed and then you speak the language of the employer, it would be very easy for you to get that particular job. In a day, I think right now, if I've been coaching people and like I've been coaching accountants, I've been coaching human resource personnel, I've been coaching the salespeople. They are asking me, how comes you have the experience? This is because I've revised several job adverts and I know what they're looking for when it comes to that. So if you're here today and you're wondering, how do I plan myself for next year? One thing you need to plan how to start positioning yourself. Don't wait until like LinkedIn has been given for us for free. And we can utilize those ones to showcase our experiences. And thank you, Tess, for that. Another thing that I would really also like to know, you realize that remote job nowadays is not only for the Gen Zs and maybe the millennials. There are these people who have been working for quite sometimes, maybe in the field of accounting, public or even private sector. And now they are looking for a way out into the remote work experience. I don't know what you can tell to them, some piece of advice. And I want you to refer specifically either to the transferable skills. How can they package themselves using these transferable skills to get the kind of jobs that they want? And while on that, there's something that you mentioned. There's a hybrid kind of it. There's the remote, there's hybrid, there's freelance, or there's the office kind of setup. So for these people who are looking to get these particular jobs, when it comes to these transferable skills, what can you tell them? And the classes that you share, you've mentioned something for free. I don't give things, I don't believe on free things, but you realize that there is value in what you're giving. So how can they tap to learn a skill that would help them? Because one thing I've also realized during this hiring process, I might be good at what I do, but if I don't have something to show for it, nobody will get to believe me. I can be a good orator, I can be good with team player, but if I don't have something to show for it, no one would believe me. So what advice can you give to those people who are thinking of a remote work experience as a retirement plan? And how can they measure on these transferable skills? And while on that also, you can mention to us what kind of skills will position you to get these jobs faster.
Those are many questions, Kevin. I hope I got all of them.
Yes.
I love using examples. So I'll use an example of my last two clients that I had last week. So one of them is a doctor. He lives in the US, an American doctor. And he booked a session with me and said, Tess, I have watched your videos and I feel inspired to just learn how I can move my career online so that I don't have to do this job because it's exhausting. I want freedom, and I want to be able to, make as much money as I want and work a little bit less. So how do I go about it? That's client number one. Client number two is a retired Nigerian civil servant. So he retired actually in June. He's actually 59 years old. So he booked a session and said, Tess, I loved your videos and I am a retired civil servant. You can imagine as a 59-year-old who's not very tech savvy. But he said, I am so passionate about renewable energy and solar, and I'd want to kind of create some sort of a career online in this space. So how do I go about it? I mean, this is something I love. I think this is my my best kind of problem to solve. So for people who are looking to go online from traditional roles, I'd say, first of all, very possible. The first thing you need, I have found people also who say, you know, I'm a 60-year-old secretary, I want to go online, but I cannot type, I cannot not use computers, I cannot blah, blah, blah. So the first thing you need to do is to understand that you will need to be able to use online things. You'll need to be able to use a computer. If you cannot type, you will need to learn how to type. You will need to know how to go to Google Chrome and search for something. You will need to have basic knowledge of navigating online space. That is number one. Once that is out of the picture, now we are talking about moving your career online. First, what do you do now? What's your traditional role? Now go online. There is a probability that that is something you can do online. Example, HR. You are a HR, human resource manager, and you want to move online. How can you do it? Well, you can get a remote HR role. So first, research and see, are there remote DDDDD? If you're a secretary, search remote secretarial roles. If you are, what else do they do? I haven't done a traditional job for a lot, so I don't know the traditional roles, but that role, type it, or a variant of it. Now you know that they exist. We will go back to the same routine that we followed when we were looking for a remote job. What do they need? Those roles. So first you ask yourself, okay, so can I do it? Yes, I can. So what do they need? The skills. Maybe you will need to know, if you are a HR professional, for instance, maybe you will need to know how to use Outlook, how to use Microsoft 365, how to use, Gmail, okay? How to be able to write a document on Google Docs or Word. So if you look at the job descriptions and they say that for you to get this job, you need this, then the next thing you do is to go and teach yourself how to do that, how to use Outlook, how to get those skills, and then I'll start applying for jobs. It's as simple as that. So first is to get rid of this mentality of, I am 60 years old or 35 years old and I am too old to learn computers. Who told you that? I am too old to work online. Who told you that? Where is it written in the Bible that you cannot work online past 60 years? Did you see is it a 90 or 95-year-old lady who's now a fashion influencer featured on Vogue? She just started dressing up on TikTok, and here she is living her, maybe she's wanted to be a fashion influencer, a fashion icon for the longest time, but she was not able to achieve that for the 90 years she's been alive. But here she is. She took advantage of TikTok, which people say, oh, it's for children. Who said so? Okay, so first, get rid of the mentality, the bad mindsets that limit you, and now adopt a growth mindset. You can do anything you set your mind to. That computer you can learn how to use, okay? I taught my foster mom how to use a computer. She's now creating content. And I keep telling her, now start YouTube, now do this, now do that. I don't care whether she's 60 or 50. She wants it, she does it. So that is what you do in terms of moving these roles online. I don't think I remember your other questions.
Talk about transferable skills and how they're important.
Yeah, transferable. I mean, let's first define transferable skills. These are just skills that ideally apply to many roles, like computer skills. They apply to as many roles as possible. Typing skills, yeah. Organization skills, management skills, they're transferable because you gained this skill in this job, but you can actually use it in the next job. So by the way, you will need to take advantage of transferable skills. Look at the kind of job you want and look at the skills they're asking for, and then ask yourself, did you gain this skill in your previous role? Okay. if let's say you're talking about somebody who can analyze data or who can write reports, and I was working as a center manager some years back, and my job was not really data related, but I remember we would kind of take note of the number of people who've signed up for classes and try and see, is it an increase in terms of, if last month was 50 people, this month is 45, has that increased or decreased? You see, normally you'd think, I don't know anything about data analysis, but you are doing it. It was part of your previous job. It's just that your job wasn't data analyst, but the skill that they're asking for here in this data analysis role, you gained it in your previous role. So you have to show that. Now, when you're making an application, I worked as a center manager and one of my job roles was, what is the word? I'm trying to find the right easy words to use. Was kind of analyzing class attendance and reviewing, increase and decrease. Just use the words that they like to hear, like Kevin said. So you're trying to make your transferable skills look beautiful and show that, yeah, you might not have held this particular title, but the skills that are needed for it, you learned it in your previous job and you have something to show for it. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I won't repeat the other ones of which you've touched them on these. Maybe briefly, can you maybe mention some of these jobs that one can get without skills?
I like to
As in
call them.
without experience per se, yes.
Do you know what's funny actually, Kevin? You can get any job without experience. You can. You see, in this world, there are not even in this world alone, just the normal world, the traditional world, there are entry-level jobs, yes? When a graduate finishes school, when you graduate, you don't have any skill, but here you are looking for a job. The kind of roles you get are entry-level jobs. They are trainee jobs. This level is the lowest level in, the corporate ladder. So this is where you just join, you don't have any experience, you have the knowledge, you just haven't put it into practice in the field. And employers know this. So ideally, you can get any job. You can get an entry-level digital marketing job. You can get data analyst digital marketing job. You can get a web development digital marketing job. You can get an entry-level entry-level web development job. You can get these jobs without experience. We go back to packaging and positioning. Just because you haven't worked in the field does not mean that you cannot sit down and create a little website for yourself to show to your potential employers.
Okay.
Do you have the knowledge? Yes. Can you try and put that knowledge into practice to show people that I have not worked for any company, but I can do it. See what I created for myself and my family or for my friend. Okay. We talked about, saying you can do something is great, but words are useless. Showing you can do something, now that is it. When somebody comes to me and says, Tess, I'm very good at video editing and I want to work for you, I immediately delete that email. Do not waste my time. You are good at video editing. What are you
These
waiting
are some
for?
of the things I've done.
Yeah. Go to my YouTube channel, download a video you see has not been edited well, edit it, send it to me. Tess, I'm a video editor. I am good at my job. I have not worked for any YouTuber, but I re-edited one of your videos. Now you have my attention. Okay? That is how you get a job. There's a lady who came to me and said, Tess, by the way, I want to get a virtual assistant job. So I have actually replied, I can help you with your comments. I have replied to your first 10 comments on this video. Please, what do you think about my job? And now we have a starting point. People who say I can do things nowadays, they can't do shit. Trust me, I have learned this from experience. People come to you with big words and I can do, I need, they cannot. They will waste your time. So if you want to be trusted and blah, 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 just show that you can do the job. Now, when it comes to remote jobs, you just have to look for entry-level jobs. Now, there's usually a thin line between remote jobs and online jobs. Now, the question you asked me about the jobs they can get without experience, I assume you're talking about online jobs. These are easy little freelance jobs. Now, disclaimer, these jobs don't pay as much as you might think, unless you approach it the way I approached it. Now, when I started with transcription. It is considered one of the easiest online jobs, okay? Was I making $100, $200 a month? Yes. Was it enough for me when I was in university? Yes, okay? You see, we also have to take, to be cognizant of our location. It's a disadvantage. Being in Kenya is a disadvantage. Because are there high-paying transcription jobs? Absolutely. Do you have access to them as somebody in Kenya? No. Even me right now in Kenya, I do not. When I go back to London, I have access to them, okay? So you have to assess these things from that angle. So then how do you make a significant amount of money from a traditionally low-paying job that ideally, if you just followed a path that everybody follows, you'd make very little. So I said, okay, I can make $200 from transcription, from working on transcription platforms, and I have gained the experience. I mean, if you're starting and you're completely fresh, these platforms that called transcription companies that hire worldwide. There are very few, but there are those that hire worldwide. So when you apply and you get in, and because they know, first of all, you are in a low economic country, number one, and the jobs are in high demand. Like everybody wants them. If you refuse to work on this file today, the employer won't cry about it. There's someone in the line waiting to work on that file. So they pay very little because there are more workers than there are jobs. Okay. So I said, how do I take advantage of this? Okay. So I decided to see it as a business. So I started hiring people here and there. I wanted to do more jobs, but I'm just one person. So I'd kind of delegate. I'd say I'm getting transcribers on board. Let's hear some files too for me. So I'm able to make more money. And then I started looking for direct clients. So I remember I have worked with NGOs, global and local ones, and Oxfam, think whatever, those NGOs, NGOs. So I'm able to make more money than I would if I was highly or 100% reliant on platforms. So that was a disclaimer. So these online jobs that you can do, this transcription, number one, there's freelance writing. This can be both a high-paying and low-paying job, depending on how you approach it and the kind of writing you do. There's virtual assistants, same. It can be a high-paying or low-paying job, depending on the kind of services you offer as a virtual assistant, what you can do, the skills you have. Virtual assistants is ideally just being somebody's virtual personal assistant. The difference is you're doing it online. So there's I've mentioned 3. There's data entry, which is the most popular, and people are always looking for these jobs, and because everybody wants them, there are very few and they pay very little. It's a waste of time if you ask me, but I talk about it because people ask for it a lot. So there's data entry. I really think it depends on your capability. In terms of, if you're good with Excel, you might make more than somebody who's never used Excel in their life. I don't know whether that makes sense. So data entry, I usually just like to list those 4. Number 5 is research, which is the last one I will list here. There's online research. You see the way you spend a lot of time just searching for things online. Maybe you could put that skills into use and make money from it, but now you're not just Googling random things. Maybe somebody's doing an academic paper, they are doing their thesis for their masters and they don't have time to research a specific topic. You do the research for them. You kind of write a summary and send the info to them, and then they pay you. So those are some of the kind of jobs with a low entry barrier in the space. But my advice to people is look at high paying jobs, high income skills. I call it, if you don't want to waste your time online, you want to find yourself in a space where the demand for jobs is not higher than the jobs available on the market. That is how you win. But starting with these jobs does not mean you will lose. Sometimes they form a good entry into the space.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. I know you had mentioned something to me, but before you go, we can test on as only 10 minutes with us here. You can ask the questions that you have for her in the comment section. I'll give like 2 people. But Tess, the last thing I would like you to talk to us about is the Skillshare platform. So if someone wants to learn a new skill, what is required of them and how can they access the platform? Thank you.
Okay. So Skillshare is ideally just a platform where you go to learn skills. So I created a class. It's called the Make Money Online for Beginners, the step-by-step kind of, it's a step-by-step guide to growing an income. So my idea was to kind of help people with people who just don't know where to start, how to go about it, what steps to take to become successful. So I kind of documented my journey, and I'm like, I took 7 years to get here. You don't have to. This is what I did. If you follow this, you can make it. So we talk about more beginner-friendly online jobs, high-income skills, how to start an online business, how to scale your business, how to make more money, and eventually how to achieve financial freedom. The class is hosted on Skillshare. Skillshare is a subscription-based platform, but ideally it's a 2-hour class, and I usually have a link where I give people and they can get a free trial, 30 days. So that is how you learn for free. You join my class for free. So if you get your 30 days free trial and the class is only 2 hours, you spend like a day taking the class, you get your certificate, and yeah, that's it. But if you spend more than 30 days on the platform without canceling your plan or whatever, you will need to pay. So I usually advise people, if you don't want to pay for it, just get your trial, cancel immediately before you even start learning, or finish your learning and cancel, so that you don't get charged. I hope your audience understands how subscriptions work, because I've found people who tell me, but they're asking me for money, they're asking me for credit cards. I'm like, don't you understand how subscriptions work? So ideally, when they give you a trial, obviously you will need to provide your credit or debit card or PayPal. Yeah, it's an American company, so they do not recognize M-Pesa, unfortunately. So you just enter your details. They will not charge you for the 30 days. Just make sure you cancel before your 30 days are over. You can learn, you can join my class for free. You get your certificate. There's even a project, we call it the Online Money Making Blueprint. This is where I have created some sort of guide for you, so that by the end of the class, you have things that you're going to do. You know the platform you're going to start with, the job you're looking for, when you're going to learn, and you even have a to-do list to get your online career off the ground. If you want, Kelvin, I can share the link with you. And the beauty of this is, by the way, there are more classes taught by experts on Skillshare. When you get that trial, you can take my class. When you're done, look through these other classes. You can learn digital marketing on there. You can learn social media marketing, social media management, virtual assistance, transcription. So there are more classes there that you can learn for free for the 30 days.
Wow, that's amazing. I think if we would have been in a physical meeting, we would have given you a hearty clap. I know there's too much to learn in this particular industry that we cannot do in 1 hour. And as we all know that this is a very, very important session, and there are more of these sessions coming in the month of December. And I've been working with clients globally to help them just navigate the remote work experience. So whatever you've experienced here in the past 1 hour, this is what we've been working through with them. So before I let our guest leave, I would take 2 questions. directly directed to Tess. If you want to maybe ask something, I'll give opportunities to two people, a gentleman and a lady. But meanwhile, she'll share the contact. If you need to get her services or if you need to get those particular access, I'll share them in my WhatsApp group. I'll post it on my LinkedIn profile, or you can get it in my YouTube channel. So who is gonna ask the first question? You can raise your hand. Who is gonna ask the first question? One thing I love with my class is people get to she's shared it on the chat session. One thing I love with my sessions, people get to learn everything in the first attempt. So anyone who has any clarification she would like to get from Tess before she leaves? All right, Tess, so finally, maybe one thing, how can we find you, and what are your social handles? That maybe if we need to know more about you, we can either look for you on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. Maybe you can give us that.
Kevin, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, on YouTube at Tess Ogamba. So those are the platforms that I am most, active on. If you need to book a session with me, you can find me via my email, tess@tessogamba.com.
Okay. All right, I've seen we don't have any question and I don't want to keep you any longer. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. It's always a privilege to host people like you, and I'm looking forward to a long-term partnership with you, because I don't do what I do for money, but I do it to impact as many people as possible. So if I can partner with quality resource like yourself, it would be an added advantage to me. So thank you for honoring our invite. And I hope that the attendees have learned something that they didn't know. So be on the lookout for this specific session. And in the next week, I'll also announce on the next guest that we would love to invite. So I have nothing much to add, but the takeaways I can tell you from this session is, number one, is you need to start positioning yourself. For those people who are good at writing New Year's resolution, you can start working on your New Year resolution as early as 1st of December. Put things in place so that when you reach out and tell people that this is what I'm good at, show it and don't tell, don't tell, as we've been taught in this session today. So it is important. And I've always said time without number that you can use platform like LinkedIn to showcase, so that when I come to your platform, I don't meet the same things that I had seen on your CV. So thank you guys today. I don't know if anyone has maybe one thing to say. Maybe can we get a vote of thanks? Milka, as the first person who joined, can you give us a vote of thanks, and maybe if you've learned something before I release our chief guest today? Milka Gidinji. We can't hear you. Milka, we can't hear you. Okay, as we wait for Milka, Dixon Oyugi. Dixon Oyugi.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Vote of thanks, and maybe
Okay.
was something that you've learned.
Okay. What I would say, as a vote of thanks, I would like to appreciate the guest for creating her time and also to share out her ideas, which were impactful to those on session. And also we welcome her back for more sessions.
Yes, these people welcomes you back for more session. Thank you. Felicitas, Felista Chepchumba. Felista Chepchumba. We have Felistas and Felista. So Felista Chepchumba.
Yes, Kelvin. You want me to say the vote of thanks?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Tess. And
maybe one thing that you've learned and
okay. So thank you so much, Tess, for sparing your time to share your knowledge. One thing I've learned is that you don't go around looking for jobs. And you just position yourself to attract one. And then maybe the second thing is that you have to know what kind of a job you want. I think that was the bit that I've been failing. I take ownership of that. I've been throwing my CV anywhere. But with time, I've come to know what kind of job I want, and I want to position myself to get that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric?
Yes, Coach. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for bringing our guest today. It is very insightful. I really thank her so much. I've learned more so on the packaging yourself. It has really touched me. I need to work on that. Thank you so much for the session.
Thank you. Allow me now, and Tess, thank you so much for coming. We'll have a conversation after this. You can stay at your own will. So I'm working with candidates also to help you walk through this process. This December, there are more testimonials coming. And if you'd like to work with me on a personal basis, my contact sessions are always everywhere on LinkedIn, on the WhatsApp group, and all these platforms. So I'm looking forward to working with you. And if you want to be the next success story when it comes to either online work, remote work, or these other work, you can reach out and I can add you to the list of people that we are working with together. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for sparing time. And we are going to be inviting guests, specialists in various fields when it comes to job search that will be giving us first-hand experience. My next guest, I'm looking for someone who either human resource manager for these international NGOs or maybe a recruiting agent for these NGOs to tell us how to navigate and what exactly they are looking for. So be on the lookout for the next and next and next of these sessions. And I'm very sure that you will get to learn as much as possible. I'll share the WhatsApp link in the group. So I'll share this for those people who would love to join my group. I'll share the WhatsApp link in the group, and at least you can be able to get something from it. So allow me end this session here, and I hope that we have learned something new. I hope that this session was insightful. So let us keep on sharing. I'll share the recording for those people who didn't get the opportunity. If you know somebody, I'm going to share the link. Just be on the lookout for my next post. I'm going to share the link to the WhatsApp group. So if you know anyone that this recording would help, just direct them to check my YouTube channel. I'll post it also on the LinkedIn, and it would be of advantageous to them. So thank you guys so much. Allow me also rest and plan for the week, and see you in the next session. I don't know who is going to close for us with a word of prayer. Who is going to close for us with a word of prayer? Elvis Odhiambo. Mind closing for us with a word of prayer? Elvis or any volunteer? Okay, I think I can volunteer to say a word. So let us close our eyes. Dear loving Master, we thank you for this session, and we thank you for more to come. I pray for jobs for those people who are here. I pray for prosperity, and I pray for freedom Oh Lord, even as you organize this session, give us the grace, give us the endurance, and also give us the capacity to understand what we are taught. For I pray this short prayer, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Good night, everyone, and see you in the next session.